Hey everyone, welcome back to the Real Estate Rundown here with Marcy, where we meet with top professionals in our real estate industry, and we got a show prepared for you today. Stay tuned. Welcome back everyone to the Real Estate Rundown here with Marcy, and today I have another top professional for you to introduce you to, Kyla.
Hi guys, my name's Kyla. I am the owner of Amethyst Mortgage. Been in the business almost 20 years now.
Long time.
So we're gonna talk about, the market and what's going on in the real estate world.
We can. I would love to introduce our audience to you, Kyla. You've been doing this for a long time. I want you to share that now not only are you licensed in Florida, but you're also licensed in other states.
I am, yes. So as of right now, I am licensed in Florida, Connecticut, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Colorado, Georgia, North Carolina, Texas.
Wow.
We're pending Massachusetts. We're going for a couple others such as Ohio, Nevada, so busy.
Yeah, I want to talk to our audience how important it is to partner up with a good mortgage broker.
Yes.
If you're a buyer in the market, need a pre-qualification letter, pre-approval. If you're working with agents, you want a good mortgage broker that not only has the resources with lenders, but knows how to put the package together to get your file approved.
Absolutely. So it's crucial. I can't stress how important it is to work with somebody who's knowledgeable and seasoned in the business. I started in this business in operations, so I was working as a processor and underwriter. I really learned the ins and outs of this business and what it takes to qualify for a mortgage. When I tell you there is a lot of loan originators out there that are great salespeople, but they don't have the consultative skills and knowledge that is needed, and that is so important when purchasing any property. So one thing that sets me apart is my knowledge. I really do walk you through and hold your hand and offer that white glove service, and I educate you so you understand what's going on every step of the way, why you're being asked for certain things, why we have to go a certain direction and you maybe can't do, what your cousin did. So there's a lot of misconceptions that people believe, oh, well, my cousin got this and my sister did that, and every single transaction, I always say, is like a fingerprint. No two are the same, okay?
Yeah.
You have a different property, you have a different borrower with different circumstances, so nobody fits in a box. I luckily work with a number of lenders as a broker, so I can pretty much fit into any lender's box, because lenders have their own boxes. A lot of them have different overlays that others don't, so it's just really important that you work with a seasoned professional, and I always recommend a broker, because a broker can actually shop around for you, versus when you're dealing with somebody that may be with a direct lender, they're dealing with one set of pricing, one set of guidelines. You need to fit into their box. If you don't fit into their box, you're going to get a denial.
Get chipped.
I had a gentleman too, and even this is a perfect example of working with somebody who's knowledgeable in the business. This was a VA client. He was a veteran. He was trying to get a VA loan and utilize his eligibility, and he was denied 3 times before he came to me.
Yeah.
And he had a very unique structure in his income. He was a seasonal employee up in Massachusetts, and so he was off and on, and then he was also enlisted, so he would do his service. It was very here and there, back and forth. But if you know how to document it correctly and you know what the guidelines are, I qualified him, and he closed on his home, and that was one of
so happy.
He was so happy, and it was one of my favorite stories because he's a young guy, works really hard, just married, has a new baby, and they wanted to be able to buy their first home.
Yeah, and they, a lot of times they're doing the right things. You know, like, look, I've been working on my credit, I've been working on saving my down payment, I've been working on this. Why am I getting denied? And lots of times it's because the package is not being put right.
We're not being put together right, and that's the other thing that blows my mind is when I have clients that come to me with these like, oh, I got denied. I said, well, what happened? I don't know. I've had to tell somebody, hey, we can't qualify you right now, but this is what you need to do to get qualified. And this is why you don't qualify right now. So to not even tell a client why they're declined tells me that the person they were working with doesn't actually know. They were relying on an underwriter. They threw whatever at the wall to see what would stick, came back with a denial, and they're like, oh, sorry, this isn't gonna work. And some people really only care about a paycheck. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love to make money. This is my job. This is my career. I don't work for free. However, I care more about helping that person get to the finish line than what that dollar amount is. And sometimes I feel like these more difficult scenarios, and I even have difficult investors. It's not just the primary home buyers,
right,
you know?
right.
I even have difficult investor scenarios. And it's like, I wanna make this happen for you.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna find any way, any lender. If we have to go to a private lender, we're gonna make it happen. There's some people that are in my position and they're like, that's just too much work and I'm not gonna do it. I'm looking for the slam dunk deals.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's all good and great, but that's not how you build your business and that's not how you get referrals. People appreciate, you know, you actually caring about getting this
because
done
look
for them.
what you're doing. You're making dreams come true.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's such a big deal.
The most rewarding part of my job, actually.
It's making dreams come true. It's like if you don't have, and I tell my real estate agents also, my great partners, it's like you have to have a good mortgage broker that can navigate different ways to put the file together. So much so, and I also, this is very important, and we had a little brief thing previously, is that tax season is coming now. Very important. If you're in the market to buy, tax season is coming up. You do want to reach out to Kyla and talk about, hey, I'm looking to buy in the next 2-3 months. You know, it's tax season. She's going to navigate how you should, you know, how your CPA, your accountant, can help you navigate and prepare your tax returns the way that a lender is going to look at it like, okay, this is great. This is the way it needs to be, because what happens a lot of the time, people file taxes and for a check the box type of thing, they'll get denied because the way, and oftentimes the taxes will need to be amended, it'll take some time, they need to pay additional fees, and buyers feel overwhelmed. They get scared of the IRS, they get scared of the process here, they, you know, extra fees to pay the CPA to handle some things, when a lot of times it could be very simple and preventative.
Absolutely. So my biggest thing, like all self-employed people, we all want to write everything off. Okay, of course, we don't want to pay Uncle Sam all this money. However, there's a way to write things off. There's a way to reduce your tax liability to the IRS, but increase your buying power on the lending side. So there's certain things on the lending side we can add back, such as depreciation, depletion, business miles, things of that nature. So those things help reduce your tax liability to the IRS, but we can use them on the bank side. So it's super important that you speak with licensed mortgage originator that's seasoned and knows what they're doing, as well as having a great CPA, you know, and I'm more than willing to get on the phone with a CPA to let them know what your goals are. I understand that your goal is to save as much money as possible, and I want that for you, and I love that for you. We just need to make sure that your CPA understands what your goal of purchasing is so that they can construct things in a way that is still beneficial to you but isn't going to hurt you when it comes to getting approved for a mortgage.
Absolutely. Right now the market is picking up a lot, and you know the high season is spring season, so it's important to get going on getting your things in order now so you could be prepared and have an easier process while you're going into contract shopping for a home or whatever.
Absolutely.
It's so exciting once you make that decision for shopping for a home, you know?
Yes.
It's like, yay! Change is good. Change is good.
Is.
And the new year is coming. Kyla, I want you to share with our audience a story. You know, people love to hear a story, you know, negative, challenging one, a positive, an easy one. Sometimes we think something's going to be so easy, or a very difficult one. Give us a story that happened in one of these scenarios.
So I have so many stories. I just told briefly the good one about the VA client that we saved. I tend to be known to some people as like the rescue mortgage loan originator, which is great, but it's also a lot of work. But I am always up for a challenge, and I love to make dreams come true. I also dealt with a lot of really crazy things in my business. I've had people shop me against another bank. I don't want to name any banks, but against another bank. And I always say, you know, when it comes to pricing, I know that I can find you the lowest rates the market has to offer because I work with so many different lenders, and I'm always going to come out the door with the best case scenario for you. So I'm not worried about being shopped. I literally had a client that I beat this loan estimate in rate and closing costs, and she still went with them because they had some big commercial name, and she just felt better about it, okay?
Wow.
Crazy things like that. I have another client just on the way in here I've been working with for over a year. We've gone through, it's a commercial transaction. We've gone through the whole process. We're at the end of it. And now they think that they don't want to proceed because they wanted to leverage more funds we let them know it goes by the appraisal, but it also goes by your financials, right?
Right.
Well, they want more money, and they also said, and your broker fee, which my broker fee is only 1.5%, and it's not that large of a loan amount. And I've been working with you for over a year.
Yeah.
So we run into stuff all the time. It's not always fun and glitter and rainbows and smiles, but we just roll with the punches, and it is what it is, and I'm sure he'll come back.
Yeah.
All we can do is guide a client and let them, ultimately they make the decision. It's their decision. I can advise you what I think is best for you, but ultimately you make the decision. I don't think you ever have to force business when you do good business.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It always flows and comes to you,
Yes, for sure. Tell the audience how important it is to work with an escrow and title company.
The most important, okay? So listen, when I tell you, so there's certain counties, like for example in the state of Florida, where the seller gets to choose the title company. And it is always the worst experience ever. And the seller doesn't really have to engage with the title company on the level that the lender does. We have to engage with them every step of the way. When you have a title company that doesn't have customer service, doesn't have that human connection and that care, like some I've worked with title companies, they could care less about what the client's experience is and what they're going through and what the circumstances are. And then I think that they forget that we work in real estate, and like nothing is perfect. And sometimes we do have one-off situations or rushes or a situation where we got to bend a little bit. Not everything is going to be like this. This is real estate. So it's so important to work with somebody like yourself who will conform to a transaction, be there for what you need, be responsive, and they're there to get the job done and to keep everyone happy. Like that is so crucial.
I mean, that's everything.
So crucial. It's everything. Like when I see the seller pick the title company, I'm like, here we go. Like they don't work with them. We do. We know who is great and we know who isn't. And I've had some horror stories with title companies, let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Yes, it's so important. Pleasure to have you here today, introduce you to the audience. Let people know where they can find you on your social platforms.
Yes, so my business page is at mortgage.made.easy. You can also follow us at Amethyst Mortgage, amethyst like the stone. And I would love for you to visit my website, amethystmortgage.com. You'll see we have over 100 5-star reviews, and that's just since my partner Marcio and I partnered going on 3 years in February. I would love for you to check out our reviews. They speak for themselves. Marcio is also fluent in Spanish and Portuguese.
I know, that's wonderful. Well, thank you everyone for joining us, and see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.